Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/usingyourpower. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. And for today's show, I'd like to recommend The 7 Lost Secrets of Success by Joe Vitale.
Hi, thanks for joining us at Using Your Power. My name is Maveen, Kaura.
And I'm David Andrew Wiebe.
Hey, David, how you doing?
Powered up, man. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm super excited.
Yeah, today's topic's going to be awesome. And there's so much we could say on this, I'm sure. But it's something that I've started thinking about, which is becoming your own PR engine.
Well, and I love this because, we've taken that idea and concept and we've decided to kind of turn that into a business based on, what you were already kind of planning to do. And I think we've just kind of taken it one step forward and built on that a lot stronger foundation. So I'm pretty excited to see where all this goes in the future.
Well, it all came to me from a recent realization because I do distribute press releases here and there, and I put one together, and then they sent me a report, and I looked at the report and I said, I can do this. I can put my news updates in all these places, or at least some of these places, and I could build relationships in some of these Yahoo groups or Google groups or whatever they are and begin to publish my stuff there. So, I can do it myself. I'm just paying them to distribute. So why can't I do that for somebody else? And that's kind of where the whole thought process began.
I love it. I think you stole my first point. My first point was it's easy to promote your own message to your own followers, right? So your followers better than anybody else. You're hopefully getting comments. I know you just said that recently you started getting comments on your blog, which is awesome. It is 2017. You made a little joke there. But you do know your followers the best. They know you better and they want you to interact with them. So why wouldn't you want to do all the PR work and really understand what they want, what they're looking for, and really be able to then develop products that can be sold to them because that's exactly what they want, right? So I love that concept and it kind of worked right into what I wanted to say.
And most PR companies are just giving you a packaged service anyway. They're not necessarily customizing the approach for you or rewriting your press release to suit certain blogs. Their only thing is to get a whole bunch of placements. It depends on the PR service, right? But that's what many of them do. You just pay for the package. They distribute your stuff everywhere. Well, that's something you could do. It's fine to pay for other people to do it because then it's time that you get back and it's time that you don't have to spend doing it. But you would still be the best person to get the right message out into the right places because you know your audience better, just like you said, Matt.
No, that's right. And, there's nothing wrong with hiring a PR company to do it, especially depending on the size of your business. When you're first starting off, you may want to definitely do your own PR. And as you keep growing and you need to focus on other aspects of your business, like we talked in the last 2 episodes, you're going to have to start getting away from that and then hire a good team to do it. But until you get to that point, one thing I really love about being your own PR person or your own engine for your business is that you become the face of your business, right? And that really helps people connect to who you are, what your message is, and what you're doing out there, either in a real world business to business or online business to business.
Yeah, and it's just not optional anymore. I think people want to do business with real people. We're sort of past that point now where people are willing to follow somebody who writes great information but doesn't show their name or face or any of that stuff. If you started back then, it's fine. I think if you're starting now, though, you want to be in video, you want to be on Snapchat, you want to be on Instagram, you want to show your face and make sure people know who you are and the kind of person you are, because that makes it easier for them to trust you. I wanted to talk a bit about the evolution of the press release, just so people kind of have an understanding of where things, started and where they've gone. I think when you first put out press releases on the internet, it helped you get noticed by the media and get potential interviews with them so they could feature you in their articles, TV shows, radio shows, and whatever else. And some of that is still happening. But I think the reason why, services like Hero now exist is because that's happening less and less with just press release distribution. If you want to get connected with a journalist and be a source for them, then I think you need to utilize those services now. Then press releases kind of went into the age of backlinks, which is what James Franco often talked about even just a few years ago. It's like you get thousands of backlinks in a day, and that's what, as the value of press releases kind of quickly became. And today, more than anything else, I think you can still get lots of backlinks, but they're not necessarily quality backlinks, which is the problem. You still want good links pointing to your site, and you still want more rather than fewer, but it's hard to get good ones just doing those press releases anymore. So the benefit today has become SEO. You want to rank for a certain keyword, you want to be known for a certain keyword. You want to own it. Distributing a press release is sometimes the best way to make sure that you are ranking and people are aware of you.
Right, and I love what you're saying because it's with the digital age, everything's changing, right? I know we're hearing more about like AI, writing blogs and being able to write better articles than some people are able to write. So the idea is, you need to become the face of your business. So you now become the one-on-one, right? And that's how people want to deal with. That's how you're going to be able to make yourself different than everybody else online, right? Because if computers are doing everything else, they're able to write stuff faster, more articles and whatnot. So you have to find something that's going to make you different. And I think when you focus on the one-on-one, focus on the business to business, I think that's exactly what it's going to do. So the nice thing is, I think hopefully with all these changes that are coming, it'll actually put people back to the way we used to do business, which was face-to-face handshakes. And, not necessarily saying you can't use stuff like Skype and tools like that to do business. It just means it's just going to be more personable, and people are going to maybe start getting away from, all that, the other noise, really.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting thought. So that could, usher us into the fourth age or fifth age of press releases with AI. Who knows, right? If AI is writing all of your press releases for you, there's no reason to do it anymore. So, that process could potentially put on autopilot. And there's technology out there that does that already. It just doesn't always do it in a non-spammy way, unfortunately. So you have to be watchful of that. I know there's stuff like Magic Submitter out there, and people have used it, and some people have said good results. But if you get flagged and Google doesn't like what you're doing, or if other sites don't like what you're doing, you're going to get your accounts deleted and you're going to be deranked. So that doesn't always work.
Right. And I think you get to control the message. So even if, for example, you have AI writing these press releases, that's okay. If I can get someone else to write something for me, but I can still review everything and make sure it all flows, and they can go get all the links for me and everything, why wouldn't I do that, right? But if you still have to control the message that you're putting out there, regardless of if it's in person or if it's in a PR release as well, right? So I know I was watching CNN the other day, just flipping through channels, and they were saying that the government really didn't have time to stand in front of it and all the newscasters and do a little show that they always do. Instead, what they did was they just did a quick press release and said, hey, we don't really want to spend hours and hours sitting in front of people. Hey, go read our press release. We're gonna go focus on something else instead, right? And that's what they did. So it really helps you utilize your time better, and it really can help you just be at the most important press releases, because not every single not press release in that manner of releasing an article or letting people know what happens. But, the government has a lot more different things to focus their time on. So putting out a press release, sending it mass syndication, and saying, hey, read it, do whatever you wish with it. We're going to go focus on something else, right? So I really like that idea.
Absolutely. And I think it's the same thing with a CRM or marketing automation, right? That gives you the ability to email tons of people all at the same time. As long as you're personalizing, customizing the message, making sure the message is one that's congruent with who you are and what you're doing, I think that can work great. The basis of building a PR engine, I'm just going to go through that real quick, so you guys can kind of set that up for yourself. And
Hope you don't steal my points.
Yeah, hopefully not, but we'll see.
I have a feeling you're about to.
Yeah, I think with online PR, this is what it would look like. But I think in-person PR is just as important. I'll leave that point for later. But here's the kind of thing that you'd want to do. You want to build your network, and that begins with bloggers and finding out what sites you can guest post on and which ones are willing to cover your stories and which ones you can partner with. It's about making a list of social media sites that are out there. There are tons of them, even ones that we don't always mention on this show. There's groups and forums that you can become a part of and share your news releases with, especially if you're being helpful most of the time and self-promotional some of the time. That's usually not a problem, and as long as you're following group guidelines, you're all good. You can find press release distribution and article sites where you can publish your stuff to. And sometimes you'll need multiple press releases because some sites won't accept the same one. They don't want to duplicate content necessarily. But, the funny part about that is a lot of these distribution sites just post to the same sites anyway or get out to the same networks anyway. So it shouldn't matter. But, if you follow the guidelines, you're not going to run into any problems. There's also, a list of PDF submission sites. So I'd say that's like really the minimum of work that you want to do, and build out those connections, and even find 100, 200, 300 sites that you can actively participate in, be a part of, and send your news and distribute your news out to.
Absolutely. And depending on what stage you are of your business as well, you can definitely go through that same checklist that David just ran through and do that on your own. Now, if you're, a solopreneur, you may want to do this yourself at the starting, but if you're someone like myself and David, where we're just starting to work as a team, and we're really finding how our business is going to run now, and really fine tuning the way it is. Sometimes it's not a bad idea to hire somebody to actually do the work for you, right? And that's the idea of working as a strong team together, knowing when, your time could be utilized elsewhere, right? So one of the things I just wanted to say was, although I know this is about being your own PR engine, but sometimes it is good to maybe step away from that and hire somebody that knows something about doing this and getting you the exact results that you're looking for, right? So I know Neil Patel said this on an episode that I heard a little while back, was he said, find a person, not a company, right? Although you might have to work with a company, but find the person within the company who has the best results. And that might be a great place to start, because you don't want to just work with any company that says, hey, we can get you these results, but when you pay them and they don't get it for you because they just gave you the new guy to work with or new girl to work with, but say, I want to work with the best of the best, and I don't mind paying a little extra money, but I want results, right? So you're going to pay and get what you pay for.
I think that's a good perspective, and it's something that you would want to do long term anyway, is be able to hire people or contract with other people who can handle different aspects of that. And you and I would want to focus on the high level things anyway.
Exactly. No, you're right.
Anything else you got there, Matt?
I'm good, man.
All right. I guess we're all wrapped up. Like I said, there's tons we could probably say on the subject, but I think we offered a really good overview of this whole idea of becoming your own PR engine, and distributing and syndicating your content and getting your news items out there. I mean, James Schramko talks about the idea of running a news blog, right? It's the same idea. And oftentimes, yes, he does do these videos where he's talking about news, but he also offers really great tips in those videos too. And he kind of mixes things up that way. So I think that's another great thing to think about. If you're creating content, people want those quick tips that they can really execute on right away without having to do a ton of thinking about it. So that's another thing, you guys can do with your content, and really your site itself can be the PR engine that drives your whole business. So
very well said, man. I can't even add anything to that.
All right, on. Okay, so you can go to usingyourpower.com to find out more about us and to leave a comment. You can leave a comment on YouTube if that's where you're listening, or connect with us via Facebook. We'd love to connect with you there as well, and send us a message. You can download a free course while you're on our website, 10 Simple Ways to Unleash Your Personal Power. You can leave a review in iTunes to help us get this podcast out there, and you can also just get it wherever you can get podcasts, pretty much.
Absolutely, and don't forget to leave some comments and maybe give us some topics that you'd love to hear from us. We've had a couple people tell us some topics. We've actually already put out one of those episodes already, so definitely tell us what you want to hear, and we'll definitely give you a shout out on the show.
Yeah, keep those ideas coming. Thanks, guys.
Have a great day.